Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Land Editor here. So I made a video putting this Danuser Stump Auger together. I've got a new microphone on my GoPro and I didn't read the instructions on how to put this microphone together and I didn't get any sound. So unfortunately I don't have the assembly video. I've got it, but there's no sound to it. I don't know if I'm gonna try to maybe do a talk over on the video or something. Anyways, let's do an overview video here of the Danuser Stump Auger. I'm gonna get the hang of this YouTube thing and have some better videos hopefully and stop having all these snafus with stuff. But here we go. So this is the Danuser Stump Auger. It is essentially the stump auger itself, which is a 16-inch auger bit. We'll talk about that in a minute. Coupled with, you know, a regular auger drive motor. And this is the Danuser EP1530 drive motor, which is a standard auger drive motor for like a regular auger bit and all that. The special part about this thing is it has the actual stump auger bit, which is like a big spade type drill bit blade for drilling out stumps, which has some huge benefits for getting stumps out of the ground. We'll talk about that in a minute as far as, you know, the different complications with stumps, how to get rid of them and all that. But my initial impression of this is it is very well built, very high quality overall. It's real heavy. Just about broke my back trying to put this thing together. I didn't have my machine in here, so I was kind of just assembling it, propping it up on the pallet. I tried to lift that auger motor into place to get it all pinned, and yeah, that didn't happen. Aleve helped me out last night taking care of that. But I wound up using a floor jack to lift that thing in place. So it's really cool with Danuser. They've got a lot of different like accessories and options and stuff that you can do with these auger setups. And one is their mounting system. So the mount that I got with mine is the universal skid steer center and offset mounting plate. So if you see right here on the end, it's got a place to hang your auger drive motor here on the side, like an offset mount, to where you can drill or auger off to the side of your machine, or you can set it up, you know, traditional center mounting, which I decided to build mine and mount in the center. It really wouldn't be that complicated to swap it out. You'd have to move where your hoses mount, you'd have to unpin it, and then you'd have to unbolt your cradle. And the cradle's got 4 bolts. And then other than that, it's just pulling a pin. So it wouldn't be that hard to swap it around if you needed to. Probably take you, 30 minutes to an hour to swap it around or so. But I set mine up for the center swing. But they have, so the options I'm talking about for their different mounting systems, John Deere tractors, excavators, mini skid steers, all sorts of different mounting plates, mounting options and stuff. So got some really cool accessories with that. One thing I was super impressed with when I was talking with Danuser about purchasing this thing is they asked me what type of machine I had. And I'm like, well, it's a skid steer. And they're like, well, give me the make and model because we need to match your auger drive motor to the hydraulic specifications on your machine. And I'm like, really? And I've known about, GPMs like high flow, low flow, the standard type stuff. But what I didn't really realize or think about is every machine, the hydraulic pump creates different pressures during a different power band for the RPMs, and they have a little bit different. It might be a low flow machine, but the GPMs might be a little bit different from one machine to the next. So they asked me what machine I had, year, make, model, and then matched this auger drive motor to work with my machine, which I thought was awesome. That's kind of like a service you get from a higher end manufacturer that if you went to say like an auction and just bought you a regular skid steer auger, you're not going to get that. It's just a drive motor. All of them just have a hydraulic motor on them. The Danuser actually has, I think, 5 or 6 different models. Maybe it's 4 different models of hydraulic drive motors, depending on high flow, low flow, how many GPMs, what type of pressure, what type of machine it is. So, I just thought that was cool. The mounting plate. This mounting plate is very well manufactured. If you look at this, that is some pretty thick steel. that's not, you know, little cheap 5/16 plate steel or anything. This is all laser CNC cut stuff. Really nice high quality welds, and this thing is built to stand up to some punishment. So you're not gonna have to worry about this mountain plate bending, you know, getting lopsided, mounts wearing out, anything like that. I don't think, I wouldn't imagine, unless you're just mistreating it. So if you go to those auctions or look at some of these fly-by-night attachment places or whatever that are selling, you know, off-brand type stuff, it's just, you can just look at it and tell it's cheap, thrown together. It's just not going to last and hold up. If I'm going to spend money, I'd rather spend money on quality. I might pay a little bit more on the front end, but in my opinion, you get a better bargain for buying something like this. Just like the hoses that it came with. They're not just standard hydraulic hoses. They come with the abrasion wrap around them. They're crimped in place. Come with, you know, flat face couplers, you know, high quality stuff. They got you a spring and a bracket to hold your hoses up out of the way. They're not just kind of laid on here. Yeah, maybe for a brand name you pay more money, but you get more for your money. So super impressed with that. Powder coating's really high quality. It's really nice. I mean, they even added, you know, some step abrasive tape there to, you know, no slip tape for climbing in and out of your machine, which is the little stuff that counts in my opinion. Moving down here, let's talk about this auger bit. So this thing is just mean looking, and I love it. I can't wait to sink this thing into a stump. I've seen some of Danuser's videos. You know, they got one where they're drilling that stump out, and I mean, it looks like this thing will take care of the job. I can't wait to test it out. Going to hook it up to the machine here. Hopefully in the next couple days, I've got a job planned for it, and I've got some stumps here myself at the house that I want to get rid of. One thing I love about this is the auger has a warranty on it. The drive motor has a 5-year warranty, which I thought was cool. Even the auger has a 1-year warranty. The bracket plates and stuff has a 1-year warranty, which is good. And this auger is serviceable. It has replaceable teeth on it. So if you look at these teeth, trying to keep shadows from getting on you, but got Allen-headed, you know, flathead bolts there to where you can unbolt the teeth, and there's 6 total. There's 2 on each arm, 3 arms, and they are reversible. So wear one side out, you can flip them over, wear the other side out before you replace them. The other cool thing is that pilot bit is also replaceable. Really cool. Read that in the instruction manual and thought, man, that's wild. I figured it'd just be all, you know, like forge welded or whatnot onto the end of the shaft, but no, it's actually screwed in there. So after drilling a bunch of stumps, if you wear that pilot bit out, it's probably going to be quite a bear to get off, but heat it up, use a really big pipe wrench or something, get that thing off, and you can replace it. So nice little touch. The overall length of this auger bit is, I think it was listed at 27 inches, and you've got at least a good 20 inches, maybe 18 inches that you know you're going to be able to put into the ground and drill the stump out. So let's talk about stump removal and why I wanted this and why I think it's going to be a really handy piece of equipment. So when it comes to a stump, you got a tree, take down, it dies, it falls over, whatever, stump's left in the ground. What do you do with it? It's a huge pain. Right, stumps are just a problem, and you see them in yards all the time where somebody's got a stump. It's very unsightly. It's hard to cut grass around. It's hard to maintain them, do maintenance around them. What do? Your options are you can dig the stump up, which is probably everybody's last option, the last thing they want to do, because it makes the biggest mess. You got to have a pretty, you know, good-sized machine to dig a stump up. Once the stump's out of the ground, what are you going to do with it? They take forever to rot. They're hard to burn. They're very unsightly, in the ground, out of the ground, whatever. Stump's just not good for anything. So what are you gonna do? You gotta pay to have it hauled off, which is expensive, or you throw it off in the woods or throw it somewhere and, you know, it rots in 10 years. Second option is you can have your stumps ground, which, you know, there's people out there grinding stumps every day. We've had tons of stumps ground ourselves. It's a great option. Gets rid of the stump, knocks it down. You can pretty much smooth the ground out. You know, it's fairly cost effective. It's nice. The only problem I have with stump grinding is when I do some jobs with us here at the house, the stumps I want to get rid of, I'm going to show you the issue that I have. Now, when a tree grows up, it humps the ground up around the stump. When you grind that stump down, the stump grinder can only go so far into the ground. It's going to get into the ground 2-3 inches, maybe 6 inches. I'm not really sure, but they can grind into the ground, but only so far. So depending on how much your ground is humped up or how much you want to like regrade to smooth your yard out, you can cut the dirt down around where that stump was so much, and then you're going to hit what's left of that stump, the roots and the material up underneath it. You just can't get the depth of the stump grinder. Enter the Danuser Stump Auger. We talked about the depth of this thing. You got at least 12 or 14 inches that you can drill down into the ground and chew this stump up into some, you know, fine shavings. It's not going to be like mulch like a stump grinder will. It won't be that fine. It's going to be some thicker, wider shavings because of the carbide teeth and stuff, but you're drilling into the ground and removing that material, breaking it up to where you can regrade, you can smooth out, you can knock the ground down and smooth it out to match the level of your yard to where you won't have any negative effects from where that stump is. So I believe this fits into a niche kind of area with stump removal that fits in between grinding the stump and digging the stump out of the ground, because essentially you're digging the stump out of the ground in little pieces with this thing, which I like because it chews it up, it gives you some usable mulch, something that's going to rot away pretty fast, or something that's easy to kind of haul off, a lot easier than a big stump, or you can do something with it, you can smooth it out, and the stump is gone. So that's my opinion on some of the options of why this is a very handy, usable piece of equipment that is worth every penny. It's awesome. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing some jobs with this thing. I'll show you how it works, kind of go over the operation of it. I really hate that assembly video did not turn out the way that I wanted it to, but look, they've got a great instruction manual. This thing is not hard to put together at all. It probably only took me 30 to 45 minutes working to get it together, so it's not like you really need an assembly video to get this thing together. Their instruction manual was awesome. Great instructions that even gave me a tool list of what tools I needed. So kudos to them on a great job putting an instructional manual together. So stay tuned. Y'all like, subscribe, please share the word. Get some folks. I want to grow this channel. Keep growing, you know, showing you some jobs, showing you some equipment, talking about some stuff. So thank y'all again.